I'm a male pro-lifer and I'm against all abortions.
Why is it you, as a young male, feel that your opinion needs to be broadcasted so widely?
I think that it is the correct opinion to help the world in a certain way, to look after the most helpless among us.
But really, that's taken away the autonomy of the woman. It makes me quite annoyed, really, hearing about it, because you're making it sound so noble.
The killing of the unborn child intentionally is wrong.
You keep calling it a child. When I had my abortion, I didn't feel like a child coming out of me.
What was the kind of moment where it sunk in, like, this is what I believe in?
I first heard the word abortion when I was about 12. It was an English assignment and I didn't really understand what it was. But I looked into it and I saw the images of the aftermath of an abortion. My first thought was, how is this legal? How is this even a debate that something like that can happen?
I had an abortion at 6 weeks, and I promise it was nothing like that. It was more just like a very heavy period.
It doesn't matter if they're this big or this big or this big or even not visible to the human eye. But I think it's an immoral act, and I think immoral acts should be illegal.
So, do you believe that life begins at conception? Where do you draw the line?
I don't believe it because it's not an opinion in a certain respect. It is a fact. Human life begins at fertilisation. And I personally don't believe that we can ever call ourselves a civilised or moral society if we draw a line saying some of these humans are valuable, some humans are not.
How old are you?
18.
Why is it you, as a young male who many of these things won't really affect, why do you feel that your opinion needs to be broadcasted so widely?
The reason that I feel I need to express my opinion publicly is because I think that it is the correct opinion to help the world in a certain way.
From my work, I work as a doctor, and so I see women from all different types of backgrounds. So there's some pregnancies, such as ectopic pregnancy, where if it was able to continue, the majority of them would kill the mother.
To clarify, when I personally say I'm against abortions, I do not just simply mean the ending of a pregnancy. I mean a procedure where the goal is to end the life of the unborn child inside the womb. Abortions to save the life of the mother, I do not particularly class them as the same category.
So just out of curiosity, if I or anyone else I know were to get pregnant due to rape or incest, would you think it would be the right thing?
I think anyone who comes to the conclusion that abortion for an elective reason is wrong, you will realise that if the killing of the innocent child is wrong, even when the mother is fine, then it is also going to be wrong if the mother has been raped or is not mentally well. Because it is, as much as the topic is about the mother, there is another person involved, and it is the ending of their life. Rape is the crime. Rape is the heinous thing. The child did not rape the woman. The child should not be punished.
It's not a child. I mean, you keep calling it a child. You'd never call it like a toddler, and then you'd call it like an infant, and it's just like, when I had my abortion, I didn't feel like a child coming out of me. I think it's this idea of like any abortion is wrong, any abortion is immoral, and we're all unethical. I think just really just doesn't sit with me. I think it's also important to realize there's also women out there, or people out there, that have had abortions and have just found it to be incredibly empowering, and they've been able to carry on their lives in a way that they see fit.
So in a scenario where, let's say, the mother has lost her capacity to think, healthily and operate healthily, what should happen with the child, say, if she decides to keep it?
What should happen with the child is they should be raised and taken care of as any other child should be.
By who?
If the mother doesn't want them, then by the millions of families waiting to adopt.
But the reality is that when we look at the social welfare system and we look at adoptions and fostered kids, a lot of them are vulnerable, and the millions of people that you're painting out to be almost heroic aren't, and that's an issue.
What are your opinions exactly when it comes to contraception and kind of preventing pregnancies in the first place? Where do you kind of sit with that?
I think contraception should be readily available. I think that there is a line that people need to realise that the government is walking on, where they are misconstruing education, like for example the pill that people take regularly, sometimes not even as birth control. That can stop a fertilised egg from implanting in the uterine lining, which is technically a type of abortion.
I mean, I wouldn't say that like contraception is on the same line as having an abortion. Do you kind of spread the awareness of contraception?
We try and educate people on contraception, where it is, you know, how effective it is, what the side effects of it are, but that is not the primary focus. As we are an anti-abortion movement, we are not, you know, a birth control movement.
But aren't they hand in hand? Really? Like, I mean, doesn't contraception help prevent abortions? Because it helps prevent pregnancies?
Well, it's not as simple as birth control reduces abortion. If you look at the rate of birth control use and the rate of abortion increase over the same period of time, it's not as cut and dry as more birth control, less abortions, because the prevalence of birth control changes the way that people view sex.
So what is your view then on this? Because it sounds like you're not too sure about some contraceptions and about its ways educated. Is it that you are pro-abstinence?
So I'm not pro-abstinence. I think there is a level of, almost to put it in a harsh term, delusion through the education system that someone who's using birth control won't get pregnant.
I think that's a bit of a jump though. I don't think the use of contraception has made more unwanted pregnancies.
The use of it hasn't, the miseducation around it, I believe, has. I think that society as a whole is failing women generally and mothers especially. I think that as well as making abortion illegal, at least the people I associate with, we want there to be far more support for mothers, and we want to basically adopt a society where abortion isn't just illegal, it's not even something that most people consider.
What you're saying, it sounds so noble, you know, you want to put all these services in to help these women, but really, making it illegal and saying that there's all these other options and we're just going to support you, that's taken away the autonomy of the woman. And it makes me quite annoyed really hearing about it, because you're making it sound so noble what's happening, but really it's not helping the women.
But we believe that there is a moral responsibility, in a way, to look after the most helpless among us, to give a voice to the people that can't have a voice for themselves.
By preventing access to safe and healthy abortions means it is forcing people to be pregnant and give birth, and unfortunately if they don't have that access they will take other drastic measures to not give a child. And I'll tell you this now, if I didn't have my abortion at 6 weeks I would have found another way.
So you've mentioned a lot about morality.
I would say that from my experience as a pro-lifer and as an atheist, I can't think of a way to justify the intentional ending of an innocent human life in a morally sound way. And that is in essence where I get that baseline of it's wrong to kill humans.
So as a mother, I've gone through a 4-term pregnancy twice. It's been my choice to do that, and because I desired to have those children. Now, I think what's beautiful about life, about everything, is that there isn't a black and white. I'm not someone that just thinks one view and doesn't see the nuances or the grey areas to things. There's so much more to it.
So like throughout the years that you've been kind of like in the streets protesting and like meeting other people, what's like the best accomplishment that you think you've had?
This woman messaged me. She had just been kicked out of her home by her boyfriend. Because of her pregnancy, she couldn't work for the next few months and wouldn't be able to make rent. Her boyfriend wanted her to get an abortion. She refused. So I started up a GoFundMe and I raised as much money as I could to help her get to her goal, which was £2,500, to help her make ends meet until she could start going back to work.
That's amazing.
But that's pro-choice, isn't it, I think? I think what you helped her to do was she had the choice, the abortion was there, she didn't want to do abortion, and then she was able to get support in maintaining her choice to have that pregnancy. And I think pro-choicers would probably have support. They're not pro-abortion, they're pro-choice.
I think there is a disconnect between most people that are pro-life and pro-choice. I also want to present the pro-life image in a way that is non-vicious, in a way that is caring and is empathetic.
Well, after this discussion and maybe further events in your life, do you think that your opinion may ever change?
The only thing that would change my view would be if it somehow came out that all of the scientific evidence pointing to human life beginning at fertilisation somehow was discovered to be incorrect.
Why do you think your personal conviction is so strong?
Whilst I was inclined to the pro-life position at first, I did want to hear how it could be justified. So I do believe that I gave the pro-choice position a fair hearing. I can definitely understand that it is from a place of empathy, that it is something that decent people do hold that position, but it is a position that I have every right to argue against.